Well, guys, we're gonna have us some fun today. I got buildings under construction being remodeled. They said they had an upstairs air conditioner that was down, and the downstairs was working. And they said they only had two, so now I got an extra one. But I don't know where it goes, but nobody's here yet. I can't get inside. Looks like this guy's been replaced. It's a newer York. And then we got two old. I don't even know what the hell that is. That's a Lennox. Two old Lennox. So, one of these isn't working. When I can get inside, we're going to go figure out what the furnaces look like. He said he doesn't think they've been really taken care of or anything done to them in a long time. That coil looks clean. I can see light through it. That coil is going to have to be cleaned, probably. So we're going to start with the one that's not working. Figure out what's wrong with it. And then we'll probably go through and just make a list, change all the filters. They've been under construction, so I'm sure everything's dirty. So we'll start there once we get inside and then see where we end up. Nobody's here, but we found a key. And okay, good. So the alarm's not going off. That's a plus. Let's see what we got here. I don't know how much remodeling they've done. It's like we got thermostat here, fan on, cool on. I don't see another thermostat. What we got on this post? Right there. So there's two of them, and they said we might have a problem with one of them down here. They said the one down here was working. This is the only place that they had people. And then we should have a mezzanine. See if we can find the furnaces. There we are. A light would be nice. Ooh. So this says second floor conference room. Oh great, we got an air boss. Looks like it's turned off. What the hell is that? Can't make this shit up. I'm guessing we got a flue problem. That's the burner cover. You got to be kidding me. Let me try to find some light, and then we'll dig into these guys. We're gonna have some problems here. But I gotta find better light. There's lights in here. Let me go find a light switch. We'll dig into these guys. Nothing's been done with the furnaces. This is gonna be that's the new coil that was replaced. And nicely done too. So we'll see what we got. Let's find some light. Alright, so we should have lights up there now. That was the only one calling for the fan. Let's see what we got up top here. This is the unit they said wasn't working. Looks like just a conference room. There's a thermostat. Okay. It's not a bad building here. A lot of windows. So now that we got light, let's get up to the mezzanine. We're gonna give everything a once over, make a filter list. Give everything a once over outside on the ACs. Make sure we don't need nothing noticeable, and then turn everything off and let the building warm up while we're going to get filters and such. And then we can start from there, have some heat loading in here to hopefully run these things. Nice big shop area. Some exhaust fans. A couple tube heaters up here. That ought to be in place. Somebody gonna fall off the side here. This is already gonna be fun. I've got wire pulled. Somebody's disabled a wire pulled from the gas valve. I got a wire hanging there. The igniter's been unplugged. Pressure switches unplugged, so obviously disabled the heat on this thing. And my blower I turned off. Let's get in here and see why it's running. Oh yeah. Well, get that one. Let's turn off that one. We're gonna probably pull the blowers just to clean the secondary heat exchangers. And we'll check outside. Didn't really find why the blower's running. Shouldn't have had a call, but it's the least of my concerns at this point. This one doesn't even have filters. We got a rack in there on both sides. A little makeshift drive slide they use there. I've added a relay. Man. Oh, look. Heat exchanger tested good in 2010. Oh, man. These things were tanks, though. They're probably still running. Except for that one, because all the wires are disabled on the damn thing. Let's move over to this one. I bet it doesn't have filters in it either. So we've got some stuff labeled wrong. This is my second floor unit. It looks like here it's got the zone control on it. It's an old air boss. I've got one damper there, feeds over into that room. You can see how they did the duct here. I don't know how correct all this is, but this feeds the other side of the second floor. So I just got two dampers. Everything else feeds down. So we're going to verify those dampers are open. This is labeled second floor, but it's not because my duct goes down. So we've got a filter list. Let's go give a once over outside at the air conditioners and then see what we got from there. The complaint was that this one wasn't cooling, the upstairs. So we might have a problem with the zone controller. I'm going to have to verify that those dampers are open somehow. I haven't dealt with too many of these. I've seen them before, but might have to dig into it. But as long as my dampers are open, this is turned off. An MPS, I don't know what that is. Power is on. So I'll have to see if it's giving me any outputs or what the hell it's doing. I just kicked the heat on to try to get some load in the building. Both these things just fired off. So I do have LEDs on my control here. One thermostat was set to heat, one was set to cool. That may have been why they didn't have cooling. And my discharge air sensors hanging. So that might have been why they didn't have cooling. My pumps are running, so I'm gonna go ahead and suspect that my dampers and everything are okay. We'll have to verify that they're open, but everything looks like it's working here. They probably only saw one thermostat. Like I said, they're new to the building, they're just moving in, so they've only had a few people here. So they probably hit one thermostat, turned it to cool, and never even saw the other one. But anyways, these guys are heating. I don't know how long they'll last because no filters are probably dirty. We'll pull all that and look inside to clean it after a while. We know this one's not going to work. I'm not even going to try to make it work. They need a new one. Probably going to need a new AC too. But we'll get some load in the building and we'll kick the ACs on. But let's go outside and at least bump the contactors and see if everything runs before we go too much further, and then we'll grab filters and go from there. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. Got a high pressure switch. Doesn't feel like that's tripped. That's not a good start. So, no power there. This is the newer one. Damn it, man. I bet they got power off to all of these. Somebody's been in this one in 18, but nothing too out of the ordinary. So let's go. I looked at one breaker panel earlier. Let's see what the hell's going on with the power. Let me dig into these guys and see. And we got fuses, so figure out what's going on there and keep on going. Had some kind of diesel gas before, I guess. AC. Where's the other one? All right, I'm missing one. Those are both 50 amp breakers. All right, well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, I guess. Let's go ahead and see what we got outside now. I got my 3 legs. It's showing me backwards, but I'm checking on the inlet side, so they're probably corrected in the unit. I did find the single phase breaker. These 2 are 3 phase. So that one's got power now too. That didn't sound great, but it ran. That one sounded okay. And this one I can't push in, I got nothing. But probably gonna be okay here. This is my second floor unit, the newer one, so I think it's probably some of that's own system, or not having both thermostats turned to heat. So let's grab filters, and then, like I said, it's It was about 55 degrees out this morning, so we're gonna let it warm up a little bit while we do that, and then we'll kick these guys on and check them out a little better. So we warmed up upstairs. I got my fan turned on, and I got airflow on this side. They do have butterfly dampers in these things. All of them look like they're open. See if we got airflow over here. I think we do have airflow there. I got 2 registers up top, and then I got 2 out here in the main space. That one's closed. Probably gonna need to get that open. That one's partially open. This is where all the heat load comes from, with all these windows. Just a little dirty. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, but we'll brush all that crap off of there, clean it up a bit, and then I got some filters. So we rinsed the old guys. They were not too bad. This guy's got a little dirt on it, so we tore it apart. We're gonna get it good and clean, and then we'll cycle the air. This may have been part of the reason why they didn't have cooling. We got a pretty good buildup in there. So we got some load in the space now. And I believe it's a fixed orifice. It was had something written on it of the orifice size outside. So we just started up. It's a little bit off now, but we're gonna give it some time and see where we end up. The superheat's concerning. Subcooling looks reasonable right now, but after some run time, it might improve. I'm gonna have to go outside and make sure I'm reading that suction line temperature, because it ain't really moved. But we're gonna let it run for a little while and check on some things. So none of this is gonna be perfect. You can see what they've done with the liquid line there. The liquid line's pretty cold right now. Still got a wet coil too, I believe. I got gap here. Nothing was ever sealed. They just shoved this thing in place. It says no metering device installed. So they would have had to have put it in there. Suction looks better. Superheat's coming down. Subcooling's reasonable. Let's see what kind of temp drop we got. Yeah, we got 26-degree drop. That's going to be just because of our airflow. This thing was put in destined to have problems the way they put it in. These furnaces are from 1984. So, I mean, we cleaned the secondary the best I could, but this thing is not going to be perfect, that's for sure. As long as my superheat comes down, we know we got airflow issues. They're gonna, obviously we're gonna recommend that all of this stuff be tore out and start over. You might be able to spare the AC, but these furnaces need to go. This one's been hacked up and missing all the wires pulled off and everything else. I actually fired the heat on the other two, so they did run. But they're gonna have issues out of these things. So we're gonna let it run for a little while, see where we're at. So I am getting a little heat out of it. My coil's probably still a little wet. Sight glass is clear. Superheat came down. Still kind of dropping. Subcooling's in range. I mean, it doesn't look perfect, but again, we know what we got, so it's not really going to be perfect. As long as my superheat gets within range, I'll be happy with it. And you all can't see it, but it's written on there, 084 piston. And they actually wrote the charge on there, 7 pounds, 14 ounces was the total charge. So they did a little bit of more work than you typically see. But we're gonna let it run for a little while. It's cooling. I'm not in the best place for that supply temperature reading. So I am still reading really high temp drop. But we got airflow issues we know of. It's sticking about that 26 mark. So we'll let the coil dry out real good. It's gonna at least cool this way. Compression ratio is alright. As long as the superheat gets in range, we'll just write it up as such and let them know what they got. But it's improving as it runs. So it's looking about as good as it's gonna look. Superheat did drop. Let's see what my calculated, 11. So I mean, I'm right on as far as the superheat goes. Head pressure's climbing as my coil dries out, and I'm not in the best spot. Still got a high temp drop, but it's been sitting at that 26 mark. So I mean, it's close enough with where my probe is. That's probably going to read off anyways, because I'm right on top of that coil. But so this one's doing about as good as it can. It's only going to improve as that coil dries out. I'm dropping my probes now. There we go. So we'll let it run for a little while. We're dropping temp. It's about 75 in the space right now. This does have outside air as well. So we're gonna probably gonna make sure that's open, because we've got airflow issues. But you know, my coil at 37 degrees, everything's within range. It's all looking reasonable. So it's all looking about the same. Let's do something here. Let's turn one side off. See how that affects me, because those dampers are working and I don't see a bypass on it. So I don't know if it's got enough airflow with one stage running or not, or with only one side running. This is a larger space. I got a couple offices and some servers there. The other side is just a conference room. Got another damper there. I did go ahead and make sure that was open. Like it's falling off the damn ceiling. A drop in temp. It didn't really affect me too much. So, it's not going to be perfect anyway, so we'll just call it what it is. We'll write it all up, and we'll switch over to these old guys and see what they look like. They're going to be R22. That superheat's concerning. So, might try to get rid of this zone system whenever we change this equipment out. Let's see if that superheat improves with the other side open now, but that's getting way too close to flooding that compressor. Of course, it's with the way they installed it, it's going to have a shortened life anyways, so doesn't look like it's going to freeze up, but we may flood that compressor if one side's only calling. But I mean, hell, it may have froze up. That may have been why they called, because they called and said this one wasn't running, and then he wanted all of them looked at. Of course, it was dirty at that point too, so now that it's clean, yeah, the superheat's going to improve now. That other damper must have just opened. Lord, we're looking. None of this is going to be great. It's probably a little low on charge on this one. These are the old R22s, so, and we've got airflow issues, but it's cooling. Probably needs a shot of refrigerant. We're not going to do anything to it just yet. We'll let them know what they got, because the evaporator's probably leaking. I didn't see any oil outside, and that temp drop again, 26 degrees. So we know we got issues here. Let's see if I can get my suction pressure back. But again, we're running reasonable superheat subcooling. I mean, it's not going to be perfect. The ACs are original, so they're 1984. I mean, I set it up for being 10 SEER, and it's probably less than that. These things are old. It's a wonder they're still running. They've been running for 30-something years, and they got a new AC out there that's going to die in 5. So we're just getting all the numbers. We're going to write all this up. I mean, they need some new equipment, but they haven't even moved into the building yet, so we get to hand them the bad news. But oh, this is looking reasonable, so we'll let it run for a little while, and then we'll switch over to the other guy. Yeah, temp drop still 27. It's more cooling, right? So we'll watch it for a little bit, and then we'll switch over to the other one, see how bad that one is, and write all of it up. So this one evened out. We're still, might be a little low on charge, but airflow and sensible capacity is what Measure Quick's saying. But again, it's 35 or so years old, so let's switch over to the other one and see what it looks like. It looks reasonable. Expansion valve's at least maintaining some superheat, so one more to go. We'll see how bad that one is. We've already satisfied up here. I went ahead and kicked my temperature back up. We'll do the same on the others. We'll just leave them set at 73 or so. Go from there. I know this coil's clean. It's high efficiency. Well, you know, I'm running reasonable superheat. You can go inside and get you guys a look, but my subcooling's through the roof. So my subcooling's up. I think this one's a TXV too, but my pressure's up too. It's almost like it's slightly restricted. Measure quick says overcharged, but I'm wondering if it's not. If my metering device was restricted and then they dump charge trying to get that suction pressure up, not to mention my airflow issues. So we're running, come on. Yeah, another 25-degree temp drop. So I'm wondering if this one wasn't overcharged. Happens all too often as they see that low suction pressure and don't ever look at the high side, just start dumping to fix the suction pressure, and suction pressure comes up, but that subcooling number is just pretty damn high. But again, 30-something-year-old unit, that's reasonable. It's running. So like I said, we know what we got here. We got some old equipment that hopefully we get some new stuff, but and it's cooling. So now we get to go write it all up and see what they want to do. They're probably going to run these things till they die, just as long as they're prepared to do what they need to when the time comes. I'll go ahead and set that back up to 72 or so, and then write it all up. So that's gonna just about do it, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave the trade better than you found it. This building will look a whole lot different by the time they move in and next time I see it, probably. So hopefully we see it with some new equipment. Let me know what y'all think. We'll see you guys next time.